Alright guys, welcome to another rant episode. Woohoo. This episode is basically me just doing a whole bunch of mandatory stuff to get it out of Eterna City so I don't have to do it later. And then me fighting a whopping 3 trainers. And that somehow takes up almost 10 minutes. It's amazing how long it can take just to beat some Geodudes. That's right, there are Geodudes in this segment. I looked it up on Cerebi. Apparently, Brock's Geodude was left at the gym. Just like every single other Pokemon. Except for Bonsly. I don't like Bonsly. Bonsly is just, it's like I don't know what he's like. I know what he is. He's a complete waste of party space. I mean, at least he evolved it, but his Sudowoodo just has this atrocious voice acting. Here's the first appearance of Cynthia. Yeah, she studies it out of curiosity, apparently, because some people apparently have so much free time to study archaeology. I'm more disturbed by the fact that she chose archaeology, of all things, to study in her free time. I mean, there are so many more interesting things you could be doing, like training or something. You know, I'd rather be working out than studying archaeology. See, I taught Bidoof Cut, which I'm not going to be able to use until I beat the Eterna Gym anyway. There's a Galactic-goon here for he's not really doing it. He's supposed to be watching statues. He's just kind of looking around, being lazy. Ooh, Bidoof, everyone loves Bidoof. Alright, now we're getting into the trainers. Yeah, the entire rest of this segment is just me fighting trainers. And 2 out of 3 trainers are absolutely no problem whatsoever. And, yeah, Meditite. I kind of like Meditite. I did another normal playthrough recently. And I decided to use Meditite. It was pretty cool when I got the elemental punches. But oh right, Aerial Ace. I think I got that when I was going through Eterna Forest. And Aerial Ace is the reason I'm not gonna bother with Defog, because Defog just clears away the fog, and Aerial Ace has 100 accuracy, so fog doesn't matter. I guess here's a ninja guy. He wants to grow up to be Koga someday. He has Zubats. He likes Zubats. Zubats are so totally awesome. I have never used a Zubat in any sort of normal game playthrough, and I don't plan on it. Unless I do some sort of Zubat run of a game, which I swear to God, I really do not want to do. And I don't know how he could stand to be around 3 Zubats all day, especially since he's a little kid. That's still kind of creep me out, you know? They're like, they get the creepy eyes, and Zubats don't even have eyes. That's a bit creepier than the weird eyes. I mean, jeez, ugh, disgusting. I mean, Crobats are somewhat remotely awesome. They got the whole purple thing going for them, and they have eyes, and they have that evil grin, so you don't have to look in their mouth the whole time. And this is the guy who I'm despise, of course, you know. He's the guy who slowed the segment so long and went over 10 minutes sometimes, so I had to re-record it a bunch of times. And all he is basically a weaker roll-up. And considering I have, like, 8 more levels, it shouldn't be that big of a problem. I mean, I do manage to beat him in less time than I do Roark, thank God. But you know, he's a rock. He's a normal rock person. By the time I actually get something to counter the rocks, it'll be a lot fewer. No, I'm not going to tell you what that counter is. If you do a research, you should be able to figure it out pretty quickly. So yeah, I go for the same strategy I used against Roark. Spam double team and hope for the best. And here's where I run out of ranting. Alright, looking around my room again. Let's see, I already did Santa Claus. I'll save pandas for another time. Cows. How about cows? Cows are cool. Like, if you want to see some real cow action, I'm sure y'all know this, but go read The Far Side. It has the best cow stuff ever in the universe. Yeah, you can tell me I'm scraping the bottom of the bucket here. That's what I get for trying to do this recording at 11:45 p.m. Let's see, we got a Sherlock Holmes hat here. I can rant about Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I think they should have... Sir Arthur Conan Doyle... And he should have just ignored the fans and kept Holmes killed off after that whole Waterfall Moriarty incident. It's kind of like in Dragon Ball Z where Toriyama wanted to end it after Namek exploded. But no, the fan insisted that he kept going. And basically it turned into Carp after that, you know? I did a play of Sherlock Holmes last year for my school. I was a minor character. I was Investigator Lestrade. I'm never comfortable being a lead role, you know, just because the off chance that I'll screw up. And, you know, all that pressure, and I gotta memorize a whole bunch of lines. You know, I'd rather be a medium character. Or not, I don't want to be a background character with 0 lines. I actually saw a play earlier today where I noticed 2 people with just background characters. And it was actually kind of sad. I felt sorry for them, you know? They had elaborate costumes and makeup and everything. And they didn't do anything. Like, they stood in the background looking sexy. Everything else back there. Yeah. Look. Yeah, what should I say? Yeah, it was a romantic comedy about the Wild West, which was pretty... It was actually pretty funny, you know. I knew a couple of the people in it. It's from my school, of course. And it had a whole bunch of crazy soap opera ex-brother twice removed. I kind of chuckled that. I actually watched soap operas. These battles of shooting thing that Clint Eastwood did. Later Back to the Future did Back to the Future 3. Oh hey, we're almost done with the Onyx here. Yeah, there we go. Finally, the hiker's down. But there's still one more trainer to go. It's the reason I had to bring leaders, other than just teaching a cut. There's the Rock Smash rock right past this guy, and it leads me to a completely uninfluential, non-challenging trainer whose only purpose is to show you Hoot Hoot. And Hoot Hoots are pretty cool, you know, there's a generic flying normal type generation battle of the normals here. But I think they look pretty cool, you know, they got the face paint, and, well, it's not paint, but it looks like they have war paint on, which is cool. And they're like, well, huggable owls, you know? I think it's the only, like, owl Pokemon there is. I mean, there's, Pidgey's a pigeon, Starly's a starling, Tailo is whatever it is, I'm blanking out on what it is. But owls are really recognizable from other ones. And since I'm running out of time, I gotta save here. And I hope you enjoyed listening to me go on a bit, and I'll see you next time.